We had a wonderful meeting today with the president. The basic message is we're all in this thing together, and we're trying to do the right thing for America, help people get back to work, get this economy going again.
This is a conversation. We're delighted that he brought us into the White House to talk about this economy. We feel that we're at the very beginning of the catalyst to make this great country what it can be, and we feel that the banks are in the very center of that recovery. So we talked about opportunities to make this a better story, to get into the opportunities to help Americans find jobs, find housing development in their financial needs, and we're quite pleased with the cooperation that's evidenced with the group and with the White House.
Our interests are very much aligned with the administration. We want to get our banks back to financial health. We know that we're at the sharp end of the stick in terms of bringing our economy back. We want to see the American recovery. We're all working hard to make it happen.
Are you going to take part in the Geithner plan? Are you going to be able to sell your bad assets?
Well, we don't know all the details on the Geithner plan yet, but we think it's a really encouraging first step to get the plan out there. We need to hear the details. I think there's going to be a lot of interest in it.
Is there concern about it hurting your books if you have to sell it at a loss?
Well, ultimately, it's really important that the buyers and sellers are able to meet on prices that make sense for both. And the devil's in the details, but I think this is something that's potentially very exciting and really important for the industry and therefore the country.
The president was very encouraging to us to do the right thing for the country, to help it get back lending and helping families restructure mortgages, get new mortgages, refinance at these great rates, and really it is a partnership. So there was little talk, if any, about the TARP issues and repaying and so forth. That will take its time, and that'll go through with the stress test and so forth. But the goal here is to work together and get this economy going again, and not necessarily about any one issue, the least of which maybe is TARP.
Executive compensation was not part of the discussion. We appreciate the fact that that's a winnowing point of interest for the press, and it's certainly something we're sensitive to. We understand that there have been some optics that have been very negative, and we apologize for that because it's not something that this industry supports or wants for the press to pick up on. Instead, we talked about the opportunities to move the country forward and really working together. We're changing the dialogue, and we're looking forward to giving you new opportunities to celebrate people's special stories of success and their opportunities of getting back on their feet and the recovery that we are much a part of and committed to all of you of making that the centerpiece of our focus in the next 60 days.
Do you feel like the public's outrage is justified over some of these bonuses and just the whole loss of a lot of their income in retirement?
We're not surprised by the public outrage at all. We appreciate the fact that the whole story hasn't always been told completely, but we appreciate that, and we are responsible in some part for some of the sound bites that have come out along the way. So we take ownership for that, but we're going to move forward to give you better things to write about, to talk about, and better stories to show what's happening in the great recovery of this country.
I think it would be fair to say that we have a pretty old and antiquated, kind of creaky regulatory system. It needs to be modernized in this country, and I think that's going to happen. There's a number of great proposals on the table, including consolidation of a number of regulators and having a systemic regulator. We're all very supportive of that, and we'll be working closely with the administration and the president to build a better, safer system for our country.
Any of you feel you owe the American public anything resembling an apology for mistakes made in the last decade or so that have helped run the economy to where it is?
I don't think. I think there are very few financial institutions that would not say we haven't made mistakes and feel awfully bad about the mistakes that we have made. So I don't think the public should in any way think that we think we've done everything right and that we can't correct some mistakes. And so each and every one of us are focused on doing the right thing going forward. At some point, we have to stop talking about the past and talk about the present, and talk about all the great things the commercial banks are doing in their communities.
One thing that you mentioned is that the president said we need to get lending going again. When the president makes a request like that, does that actually change the behavior of you and your institutions? Can he actually make you do something or ask you to do something and get you to respond to something when you might otherwise not do it?
I think for the most part, the president did not ask us to make loans that we wouldn't otherwise make. So I think that's very, very important. That's how we got into some of these problems. But quite frankly, much of the industry is being very aggressive in providing new loans across the country. One of the issues that we have in a recessionary environment, people aren't building new homes and people aren't building new plants and equipment and hotels. So loan demand across the country is relatively flat to down, but frankly, the banks across the country are very much in the lending business.
So you're not going to change what you do because he asked you to?
Actually, we as PNC and a number of others have been up substantially. We were up 19% in the fourth quarter alone in terms of loans outstanding. So we're very much in the lending business, as are many of the other banks.
Lending's up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.